Any business that relies on any type of sales effort or a sales team is always looking for more ways to create more opportunities for their sales team, sales staff to get in front of prospective customers. Whether you're a smaller business where the owner is responsible for all sales activity, or whether you have a massive sales team, you face the same problem. How do we get more face time? How do we get more prospects, get in front of more prospects every single day so that we can increase the amount of projects and revenue that we can take on? Automation is here to solve this problem, or maybe not completely solve it, but at least generate significantly more time every single day for anyone involved in sales to have more time to get in front of prospects. And what we can do with automation is really fix sort of what I call the black hole of selling, where it doesn't matter what you're selling, but so many people in sales spend time every single day creating estimates, creating proposals, creating contracts, modifying proposals, et cetera, the back and forth, the paperwork, creating these forms, these documents. It's necessary, it has to be done, but it takes a lot of time. And it's really not the best use of a skilled salesperson. The best use of a salesperson's time, of course, is actually getting in front of a prospect. Once you get to the proposal or the contract phase, in most cases, a lot of the hard work is already done. You've probably already won over the customer at that point. You're just trying to wrap it up with confirming price and details and things like that. So you really want to be moving on to that next deal. So that's why I call it the black hole of selling. You just get sucked in and can easily spend hours a day on this document prep. So automation can solve this. And I'm going to walk through at a high level how any sales team, again, whether you're a one-man sales team or you've got 50 people, doesn't matter, how you can approach this and solve this problem. The first step is something that hopefully you already have done, or at least you have somewhat done, and that is have reusable templates for your most common documents. You have templates for your estimates, proposals, contracts, so that way every time you're having to create an estimate or any one of these types of documents, you're not having to reinvent the wheel every single time. You're going to the document, you're changing the customer information, you're changing the inclusions, what exactly they're purchasing, pricing, time frame, those types of things. So that's the first step. If you don't have these repeatable and easily reusable templates, you need to do that right now regardless, even if you don't decide to proceed with automation. That's going to make you more efficient. The next step then is to have triggers in place and ways to automate the updating of these templates for you. So instead of Jane, your salesperson, every single time she needs to do a new proposal, having to fire up Microsoft Word or whatever app you use, and then manually updating all this data, and then having to manually send it to the customer, type an email to go with that, etc. You need to have a trigger in place and a system in place to automate all of that. And that's something that we do fairly regularly for our customers. There's a few ways you can approach that. One, more of a basic way, I guess you could say, is some sort of QuickBooks integration. A lot of our clients, they may be preparing estimates or proposals outside of their accounting software, maybe in Word or Google Docs, whatever. They type it up, you make it look nice, they send that to the customer, but ultimately, if the customer decides to proceed, that data is coming back into QuickBooks. So then they're going into QuickBooks and recreating that estimate or recreating that sales order, whatever the case may be. So what we can kind of do then is allow them to just do the work in QuickBooks. So you could go into QuickBooks. Books allows you to very easily and quickly create an estimate or a sales order or an invoice, and then you can select the products and or services that are being offered or quoted. And then what we can do is that can actually be the trigger. So what you've done, you've gone ahead and put it in your accounting software, which is going to have to be done anyway at some point if the customer decides to move forward. And typically it's pretty easy to do such a thing in QuickBooks, and they make it quite simple. But we can actually let that be the trigger. So anytime a new estimate or new invoice or new anything is created in QuickBooks, we can have a trigger in place that scans and analyzes that estimate and determines, okay, if it includes this product and service, then we're going to use this proposal template. Or if it's an invoice and the customer is ready to move forward, we need to send them a contract. So if it's an invoice and it's for this product or service, we're going to use this contract template. Or if it's a different product, we'll use this other contract template. We can have all these things pre-configured. So as soon as invoice is created, it pulls all the data from that invoice and automatically populates your contract template with the customer name, time frame, pricing, all of this data, because you're putting that into QuickBooks anyway. So why create two different things? So that's one way you can trigger it. Again, that is a little bit simpler. A more advanced way for customers that are really, if you're a business that is really generating a high number of sales-related documents on a regular basis, this is going to be more for you. We can set up a system where you literally can chat with your sales document preparation. So we make a neat little interface where you can go in and chat with it just like you would a friend, or if you're chatting with ChatGPT or anything like that, but it's specialized for your business. And you can say, okay, update my roofing repair estimate with this information. Customer is John Doe. We're going to do XYZ. The pricing is Y dollars. And completion date is such and such. You literally just chat that in, type that in. You can do it from a phone, from a tablet, from a computer, and the system we build will automatically load that template, plug all the data in. We can even take it a step further and have it automatically format that into a nice PDF with your company branding, automatically insert a pre-written script that explains to your customer how to read it, and automatically email that off to the customer. So if you think old days, your sales team would have to go in, pull out the template, plug it in, plug in the data, make sure it's formatted properly, export it as a PDF, create a new email, type up the email for the customer, attach it, send it off. That's going to take 10 or 15 minutes probably, depending on the business you're in. It may be more if your estimates are very complicated. This automation would take a couple of minutes. And as I've talked about in other videos, the idea of saving 10 or 15 minutes may not sound like a lot, but if you're doing that 1 or 2 times a day, that employee, that salesperson is literally generating weeks of extra time to work and sell over the course of a year. If you save just 30 minutes a day, that's over 120 hours a year. That's 3 work weeks freed up just by saving 30 minutes a day. So those are some popular examples of how we can automate sales document creation and sending. Another is managing a salesperson's email. Depending on what you're selling, sales staff oftentimes get lots of questions. Their time can be occupied by what I call tire kickers. Lots of people they want to use up a salesperson's time, but they're really not that serious. They're probably never going to buy. Salespeople are having to juggle the tire kickers with the legitimate prospects, people who may actually be willing to spend some money. It can be difficult to filter between the two and just have enough time to respond to everyone. So what we can do then is manage that salesperson's email. Every email that comes into their inbox, we can scan it and we can determine what the person's intent is. Are they ready to buy? Are they asking a question that indicates or saying something that indicates they're ready to buy right now? If so, we move that email to the top of the list and we notify that salesperson instantly, hey, you've got a fish on the hook over here. You need to go close this deal right now. If it's just a bunch of questions, maybe a tire kicker, maybe not, but they're asking a lot of questions, they're not ready to buy at that moment in time, that email does not get as high of a priority. If it's a spammy email or someone that's clearly just wasting that salesperson's time, that's moved to a low priority. You've already got a spam filter in place. It's going to filter out most of the crap. But this is going to analyze the emails that come in to determine which emails at any one point in time are most worthy of that salesperson's time. So again, it's all about maximizing their time. If they free up a few minutes a day by not responding right away to an inquiry that may not be the best use of their time, this is beneficial to your sales team. And we can even take that a step further really quickly. We can even use AI to go ahead and create responses. So typically what we do is most of our clients aren't comfortable with just turning artificial intelligence loose to automatically respond to an email. And I get that. I probably wouldn't do that in my business either. But what we can do is go ahead and create a draft response. So when that salesperson does pull up that email in their email system, a response is already written as a draft. And then instead of having to type a whole new response from scratch, they can review that draft, maybe make a few changes if needed, then hit send. Again, we just save them a few minutes. So over the course of a day, you can see these savings are going to pile up and save weeks of time over the course of a year. Sales support automation is a huge opportunity for many businesses, and it's really just going to, as I always talk about, it's going to make you more productive. This is directly going to lead to increased productivity, more deals being closed, and of course, more revenue and profits. So if you're curious what this might look like for your business and your unique situation, then you need to reach out, request a consultation, and we'll go from there. So I look forward to meeting with you.